Welcome back, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty Al YouTube channel. And if you watched my video the other day, you saw my entry for Crafty Ella Designs 2000 subscriber giveaway hop. And I told you I would be back with my process for those cards, and today that is what I am doing. For that card set, I created a sketch and then made the most of my paper to get all of those cards in that set. And this, I just wanted to kind of show you how I do this, and this is kind of my beginning here of the cards. So when I get a sketch in my mind that I want to make a lot of cards of or mass produce, I usually start with a sketch like this. And this is kind of a preliminary layout and size drawing, but you'll see down here I've labeled each piece 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I also have my card base. And down here I have put the approximate size of each of those pieces, and if I'm going to use pattern paper or cardstock on them. Once I have that ready to go, I cut out white pieces of cardstock in those sizes to get an idea if that will work. So here was my prototype for this card. Now I've used white cardstock, and I actually used clear cardstock on this. So I have my white cardstock, and then my inner card was going to be about that size. I had a banner flag there in the background and a tag. Now I didn't cut the top of that like the tag, but that's because I'm actually using a die and it will just go ahead and cut that. So there's that, and then another banner flag. Now I already knew in my mind I was going to be stamping a sentiment on the small piece and die cutting the word Mary for that. So I didn't pre-cut that or pre-stamp anything, but that's kind of what I do next to get an idea of if I like that layout or not. And when I do, I go ahead then and figure out how many pieces of pattern paper I need and how many pieces of cardstock I need, and I gather that and start cutting. So in my video today, that's what I'm going to go over, is cutting all of the pieces of paper for this card set. And then in a couple days, I'm going to share how I created the folder for them, or the holder. So I hope you're going to enjoy this look at how I created all of my cards. For the cards in the card set, I used the new Craftsmith North Pole Gazette Hot Buy Pad from Michaels. And the first thing I did was I went through and found 3 sheets of paper that I thought would go well together. And what I actually did was mix and match these throughout the cards. Once I knew what papers I was going to use, the next step was to sketch out how many pieces I could get on each 12 by 12. So here is a look at what I did, and I just real rough. I have my 12 by 12 sheet. I figured out how to get 4 of the pieces that are on the inner card, the bigger one. I have 4 there, and then I had 4 tag size pieces, and then I was able to get 4 of the larger banner flags out of that. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and cut the paper down. So because I need this bottom 2 inches for my banner flags, when I go to cut this up here, I'm going to cut across the 9 inches first, just so I don't slice down here and cut into the area I need for those. I just realized I figured this wrong. It is not 7, it is actually 6.5. Which doesn't mess up this any, but that's not correct then. Ugh, crafty friends, do you want to know what is annoying? When you have your phone on silent and you run out of room on your camera or your phone and the video just stops and you don't realize it until you've got all your paper cut out like you want it. So I got each of the 3 pattern papers cut out into the large banner flag and the card fronts, and I was just getting ready to die cut my tags out of these papers when I realized my camera had shut off. So if you need to see how I actually finished cutting the sheet of paper, You can leave a message below and let me know, and I can just make another quick video. I would be happy to do that. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and just cut the tags out of this pattern paper here. Here's a look again at the die that I'll be using for the tags, and it's just a Spellbinders nesting die. I got this in a set of 4 or 5 different sizes, I believe. And now all of my patterned paper pieces are cut. What I'm going to do next is cut my clear cardstock bases and then my solid colored cardstock for the inner card and for where I'm going to be stamping my sentiment at. Because the background on my paper is not a real white, I decided not to go with white cardstock for my sentiment banner or for the little inner card. So I had an ivory and I have just an off-white, kind of a natural ice it's called. So I'm going to go with the natural ice for my white cardstock on this project. For the inner card, the folded size of my card is 3 1/4 inches wide by 4 1/2 inches tall. So I'm going to be cutting down these pieces of paper to 3 1/4 inches wide by 9 inches tall, so when it folds to the correct dimensions. Now first of all, so I will have extra to cut my little banner flags from these, I'm going to cut it to 9 inches, and then that leaves that 2 inches at the bottom for me to use for my area where I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So there's 9, and then I'm going to cut these to 3 1/4 wide. If you would like me to create digital files that kind of show what the cutting needs to look like and upload it for you to use for your own personal use, why don't you give this video a thumbs up and let me know below. I can certainly do something like that to make it easy. That way you don't have to be watching the video at the same time. You could watch it, then go to your craft area. Alright, now I'm going to use my leftover scraps to cut out my 12 small banner flags, which measured 2 3/4 inches wide by a 1/2 inch tall. To get my 1/2 inch wide, because I don't have a whole lot of room to hold here if it's only 1/2 inch wide, what I'm going to do is trim this to 2 inches wide to even that up. And then I'm going to move this down to 1 1/2 inches. You can see how it's already tricky there. So there I have 4 of those, so I'm going to cut 8 more. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my clear cardstock. These are actually just clear report covers that you can buy at an office supply store or a copy shop, and they come with tissue between them just to protect them. So they're 8 1/2 by 11. I'm going to go ahead and cut these down to 4 1/4 inches wide by 11 inches tall. I have all of my clear cardstock cut, so now I'm going to fold these in half, as well as my inner cards. They do fold okay by hand, but I do like to just go ahead and reinforce that with a bone folder. Alright, now that I have my inner cards all folded, what I'm going to do is put the fronts on each of these. I'm going to be using my handy ATG. I just run a line of adhesive on all 4 edges. And this just gets put on the front of the folded card. For the reindeer paper, this is the only pattern I need to worry about making sure how it goes on the front so it opens correctly. And now that I have all of my inside cards complete, I'm going to go ahead and start adhering these to the inside of my clear card bases. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video here shortly. I will show you how I do these, but the video is getting kind of long, so what I'll do is I'll be back tomorrow, and in that video I'll show you how I put on the tags, how I do the banner flags, and then the stamping for the sentiment strips. So if you've enjoyed this little video and you're excited to see how I finish this up, please give me a thumbs up below. If you're already a subscriber, you're gonna know when I upload the new video. If you're not, I hope that you'll hit the subscribe button below so you know when I've uploaded the new video. As always, I hope you're having a crafty day. Bye-bye.